AI accelerates expression speed while need determines insight quality. Number 1599, April 16, 2026. Gerald C. EclaireMD Foundation. Category: Artificial Intelligence. Introduction. This paper is not a medical research article, but a byproduct of my medical research work. OpenAI released the first widely accessible commercial AI tool in early 2024. And I began using it in mid-2024. Since then, I have also tested other AI tools, including Gemini, Copilot, Perplexity, Claude, Meet AI, and Grok. This article does not focus on comparing these commercial tools. Instead, it explains the role of AI in my NI plus AI natural intelligence plus artificial intelligence collaboration approach, and how AI helps improve my research productivity. This paper is not about medicine itself. It is about how modern AI can help difficult medical research move faster, and more broadly, how it can help serious scientific research become more productive. I am writing from direct experience, not as a casual user, but as someone who studied AI in its early academic stage 1970 to 1974 at MIT under Professor Patrick Henry Winston. Applied it in industry over 32 years, 80% of my entire industrial career, and now uses it heavily every day in my medical research and related software program development. I role in my medical research. I spent the entire year of 2017 writing my first medical research paper, which contained less than 300 words. My paper was selected as the best paper in the category of diabetes management at the WHO IDF biannual meeting on December 7, 2017, in Abu Dhabi, UAE. I began using chat in my research work in mid-2024. Before that, each new research paper usually required about 15 to 20 hours to complete. That meant about 1.5 to 2 working days for a single paper, after I gradually adopted a NI plus AI collaboration model, wherein means natural intelligence, Y brain, and AI means artificial intelligence. My commercial AI tools AI helped me reduce about 4 to 5 hours, particularly in the writing process. That brought my total research working time down to about 10 to 12 hours, which could fit within one day because I normally work 13 to 14 hours per day. More recently, I experimented with a new method by using audio as my main input channel when interacting with AI tools. Instead of typing every sentence, I spoke the subject, key ideas, logical structure, story flow, and insights from my findings, particularly those related to data tables and graphic diagrams. This change in work style produced a significant improvement in efficiency. I was able to complete the first draft in about 2 hours. I was impressed because the drafting time dropped from about 8 to 10 hours down to only about 2 hours. However, my final checking of the AI written content still required about 2 additional hours. Therefore, the total time for my latest research paper was approximately 4 to 5 hours. Of course, this is only one example. In some cases, AI editing may remove or weak some of my key messages or emphasized points. I then need to rewrite those heavily edited sections. Since the internet became widely popular, many younger readers have developed shorter attention spans and often prefer faster results. AI systems have partially adapted to this preference, sometimes producing a marketing slogan style that is not always appropriate for scientific writing. Therefore, I still need to carefully re-edit the AI-generated text. This final checking and re-editing step requires manual reading, thinking, judgment, and some typing corrections. As a result, even in this recent example, the complete process still required about 4 to 5 hours to finish. Even so, reducing total preparation time from about 8 to 10 hours to about 4 to 5 hours is another 50% improvement. Compared with my initial manual process of 15 to 20 hours, the improvement is even more striking. This clearly shows the practical value of AI as a research assistant. In 2010, I hired an MD from UCSF as a research assistant and paid $240,000 per year. Today I pay about $240 per year for an AI subscription, which is 0.1% of the previous cost. However, I did not replace my natural intelligence, my brain, my creativity, observations, instinct, speed of pattern recognition, system judgment, key idea generation, and careful re-examination of content are still fully human. I did not create my main concepts. It helped me express, organize, expand, and polish them faster. Creativity still depends on the human brain. Audio versus typing. I now plan to use audio more often than typing because I have found that chat is very capable of understanding my spoken English, even though English is my second language. After about age 13 or 14, most people retain much of their original accent, so my pronunciation will never become fully Americanized. Nevertheless, the AI can still understand almost 99% of what I say. By comparison, when AI reads my typed text, it can usually detect and correct many typos, but the accuracy is somewhat lower, closer to about 90%. That is my practical observation across various AI tools. This difference makes sense to me. Each input often produces cleaner text than manual typing on a small phone screen. On a phone, typing speed is limited by the small keyboard. My aging eyesight fatigue may increase the frequency of errors. My ideas often come faster than my fingers can type. I also tend to think conceptually or graphically rather than word by word. So typing can interrupt the natural flow of my continuous thoughts. Speech is fast and more continuous. Because of that continuity, I can reconstruct grammar, sentence structure, and intended meaning more accurately. In simple terms, thinking speed is usually faster than typing speed, when typing cannot keep up with thinking. Spelling noise appears. When speaking, the language stream is more continuous, and the AI can follow the structure more effectively. My accent does not create much difficulty because AI does not rely on sound alone. It also uses word probability, sentence context, technical topic context, and my established writing style. All of these layers help stabilize interpretation. That is why audio works so well for me. 4. My workflow. The most efficient process now seems to be this. First, I speak freely to capture the structure of the idea. Second, AI performs typo correction and light language polishing. Third, I review the draft carefully to confirm that the scientific accuracy and emphasis remain correct. This process preserves my niche strengths while allowing AI to handle much of the mechanical language. Cleanup. As a cognitive amplifier, through these experiments, I have come to view AI not as a replacement for me, but as a cognitive amplifier. That is an important distinction. Me is responsible for raw creativity, idea generation, model structure selection, identification of dominant variables, causal reasoning, scientific judgment, and cross-domain insight. I is responsible for language organization, grammar correction, structural formatting, transcription of spoken ideas, draft expansion, translation, and terminology consistency. Certain AI systems also have superior capability in producing illustrative graphics. This division of labor is highly effective. Before AI, I needed 15 to 20 hours per paper. With NE plus AI typing workflow, I needed 10 to 12 hours. With NE plus AI audio workflow, I could create a first draft in 2 to 3 hours and complete the final paper in 4 to 5 hours. This means I can reduce a large amount of mechanical writing time. More importantly, it increases iteration speed. Faster iteration means I can test more model variations, compare more structures, refine more ideas, and reach stronger conclusions in the same amount of time. This reminds me of what happened in engineering how simulation replaced hand calculation. Once iteration became faster, better designs became possible. The same principle applies here. In real life, this describes my entire professional career, from portable PC, through mechanical CAD, GPU EDA, and medical AI, to my past 17 years of medical research. I have devoted 5 decades of my life to automation and efficiency through mathematics, physics, engineering, and computer science. My background with AI, I use AI seriously, not for games, music, or casual entertainment. I use it for scientific research, knowledge learning and development, system design, and practical applications. That is partly because my background in AI goes back about 53 years too. My training under Professor Patrick Winston at MIT. At that time, AI was still in its early academic stage. In that sense, I sometimes joke that I am both a grandfather of early AI development and also a grandson of today's modern commercial AI tools. Throughout my career, I have applied AI concepts in real industrial environments, especially in EDA electronic design automation. My EDA architecture was largely developed through algorithmic approaches related to search, optimization, sys structure, and verification. Looking back, I now realize that during 1991 through 2002, I was effectively simulating certain structural and functional aspects of the human brain within semiconductor chip design. I built an entire EDA system using AI-based algorithmic structures that, conceptually, was fundamentally different from traditional engineering programming approaches. TH laws of electronics and thermodynamics did not change. but the computational architecture was very different. This experience strengthened my belief that AI methods can lead to genuinely new solution structures, even when the technical problem appears similar on the surface. AI tools as a research ecosystem. In my current workflow, I mainly use Chat for structured drafting and reasoning development. I use Copilot for certain 3D graphics and illustration tasks. Gemini can be useful for content review like a journal editor. Perplexity is helpful for technical meaning and targeted lookup. Different tools have different strengths and biases, so I do not think the question is which tool is best overall. The more important question is how to combine them effectively for serious medical research work. My recent work on DSI simplification, the law of protection, the 3-variable stroke proxy, and the 3-variable CVD proxy shows how useful this kind of AI-assisted workflow can be. When typing friction is reduced, idea continuity is preserved. That matters because many good ideas are fragile in their early stage. Too much interruption can weaken creativity momentum. Engineering perspective versus statistical perspective. My research style is strongly shaped by mathematics, physics, engineering, and AI. Engineering usually tries to identify the dominant mechanism inside a complex system. The goal is not to collect endless variables, but to simplify the system into a manageable structure that still preserves the main behavior. That is different from much of modern medical research, which often relies heavily on population statistics and first-layer measurements. Statistics can be useful, but they often remain on the surface. Engineering thinking attempts to go deeper into mechanism, interaction, dynamic behavior, stability, and structure. Topology modeling provides data connectivity and geometric moving direction, while viscoplastic energy provides magnitude at different time instants. AI tools provide writing refinement and enhancement. I am not saying one approach must completely replace the other, but I do believe that structure-based reasoning can complement statistical observation and often reveal deeper insight. From theory to practical tools, another important feature of my work is the ability to move quickly from theory to application. A useful tool must balance simplicity, usability, sufficient accuracy, and conceptual clarity. In my TSI applications, I try to reduce theoretical complexity into forms that normal patients can actually use for daily warning and health maintenance. That transition from theoretical researcher to practical tool builder reflects both sides of my professional life: research scientist, engineering practitioner, and technology entrepreneur. Conclusion: I did not suddenly appear in recent years. It evolved through theoretical foundations, algorithm development, industrial deployment, data-driven learning systems, and now human-AI collaborative workflows. My career has allowed me to observe several stages of this evolution directly. From my experience, one conclusion is clear: AI accelerates expression speed. It determines insight quality. Faster expression allows more iterations. More iterations improve refinement. Better refinement improves practical usefulness. And the No.1599 approach offers the best of all. Reaching paper No.1600 is not just a numerical milestone. It also reflects my continued adaptation to new tools and new ways of thinking. AI does not replace human creativity. AI reduces friction between ideas and communication. That is the real value of AI in modern scientific research. By the way, AI has creativity and accumulated knowledge developed through long-term learning and experience. AI is a very capable assistant for language, organization, and rapid iteration. One major limitation of current AI system is the lack of continuously accumulated personal knowledge, which results partly from original design choices influenced by economic and operational considerations rather than purely scientific objectives. Disclaimer: I write this paper not for fame, but to share what I have learned so others can understand their health, prevent disease, and live longer, healthier lives. This content is provided for educational reference only and does not constitute medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C. This content is provided for educational reference only and does not constitute medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C.